Hey everybody, this is Daniel with the Bothersome Truth. I want to get into a story that I think needs more coverage and it's not being talked about enough, and that is the U.S. bombing 3 radar stations in Yemen. So just want to make clear what's going on in Yemen right now, and I'm just going to kind of go ahead and do a little bit of a summary. But in Yemen right now, Saudi Arabia has been bombing Yemen. They've been in a war for the last 18 months. There's a lot of things going on as far as land and location and who owns what. And so they've been going at it for 18 months. Now, in these 18 months, the United States has been offering weapons, funding, refueling, and targeting to assistance to Saudi Arabia so that they could target people and entities in Yemen. This has resulted in a number of areas being bombed. We're talking schools, we're talking mosques, we're talking a school for the blind, we're talking a potato chip factory, and most recently a funeral. Yeah, funeral was targeted, over 140 people killed. Now, what's important to know about this is that we have potential war crimes going on that the U.S. is party to, because Saudi Arabia has been using white phosphorus, which is a chemical weapon that you are not allowed to use according to international law, and they've been using cluster bombs. Those are illegal as well because they could cause damage even after the conflict is over. So with all that being said, a very quick summary. Some of you may say, Daniel, that doesn't touch everything. I'm not trying to. I'm going to put links in the description so you can read more on it yourself. So recently we have a warship, the USS Mason, that's been in international waters near Yemen, and we were targeted twice by Houthi forces in Yemen. So we targeted back and we hit 3 radar stations there. Now, why am I talking about this? Why does this matter? It matters because this is all being done by a president, our president, who won a Nobel Peace Prize. And what particularly I find troubling about this is while everybody's talking about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, here we have another conflict that we're getting into because of one of our allies, and not just any conflict, not just any ally. We're talking about a situation where Saudi Arabia has blockaded the people of Yemen, where you have millions of people who are in poverty and starvation. This is the poorest country in the Middle East, and we are helping Saudi Arabia bomb them. It's the same Saudi Arabia who has the same religious belief system as ISIS. Or as one of my friends says, they're the ISIS that made it. And we're bombing in their favor. We're helping them. We're helping them refuel so they can continue airstrikes. We are helping them bomb a school for the blind, a potato chip factory. I mean, this is craziness. And if anyone else were doing this, if any country were helping a Muslim country that had the same beliefs as ISIS, we would be up in arms, losing our minds. But because the United States is doing it, for some reason we think that it's okay, and it's not. And here's why I think this story matters. I think it matters because we cannot get so caught up in Trump and Clinton that we miss things that are going on. We just sent troops into Iraq, special forces, but they're still fighting on the front lines. We have this going on in Yemen. We can't be so tunnel vision that we forget what's going on in the larger world. And especially with our government, they will sneak things right by us. In fact, if you look at the wording of this entire incident, they say that we were targeted. They're not very specific. They don't explain why we're in those international waters. They don't tell you that a lot of this conflict has to do with a specific maritime strait that's strategic because like 70% of Saudi crude oil flows through there. Like all this stuff makes a difference because unfortunately it makes it seem like this is about oil and about helping our allies, even if it's not the right move. But I'm sharing this again because I think these are the kind of stories we have to pay attention to when the media focus so much on Trump and Clinton. And if they're not going to talk about it enough and give it more attention, I will. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. If let's talk about it in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm going to put some stories again in the description to flesh it out more. Those who have been doing great investigative research like The Intercept, so you can research it further. And tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This has been Daniel with the Bothersome Truth, and I hope you have a good day.